Hi friends, it's Amy. Welcome to another video. Today I am bringing you a video called 4 eGalleys that had me running to the store or online as fast as I could to pick up a physical copy for my classroom. That's a really long title and I really hope I was able to come up with something better before I upload this video. Anyway, let's get to it. The first book that I want to talk about came from a website called Hidden Gems. They work to help promote self-published and independent authors' books. That is Slumber by Becky. This is a retelling of Sleeping Beauty. However, instead of Prince Philip and Princess Aurora, the main focus of the story is Prince Thomas and an orphan girl named Lucy. So Prince Thomas really wants to have the perfect princess to marry. And he has to get married, right? Well, the most beautiful princess in the land is Princess Aurora. So he goes on a quest to get her, realizing that he is very ill-equipped for any kind of princess rescuing. So Lucy, an orphan runaway, comes across him and she convinces him that she can help him win the heart of Princess Aurora and she can keep him alive. So that is where our story begins. It's just a really beautiful book, as beautiful as this cover. It's a fun, engaging story. I thought it was really funny, and I went online right away and I bought a copy for my classroom because I have a lot of students who just love romance. I have quite a few students that love fairy tale retellings, and this really fit the bill, and I just really enjoyed it. Another YA book that I decided belonged in my classroom actually comes from Disney Press, and it was commissioned by Disney Press for the release of the new Cruella movie, and that is Hello Cruel Heart. It just came out in April in anticipation of the movie's release in May, and this follows Estella, who you know better as Cruella, but it's 17-year-old Estella living on the street with Horace and Jasper, just trying to survive, trying to make a living. She loves fashion and she really wants to become a fashion designer. Along the way, she meets various people who may be able to help her with that goal in mind, and it may or may not be a great idea to trust those people. And the result is just a really wonderful story. So that is Hello Cruel Heart by Maureen Johnson. Again, my retelling aficionados in the classroom would really enjoy this. So I decided to pick it up. My next book came directly from the publisher, Fox Press. They sent me the eGalley of My Storied Year by Katie Proctor. Katie Proctor and I both support the same podcast, Currently Reading, and she was talking about this book in the Facebook group, and it just sounded so wonderful. So I was really excited to sign up for a chance to get the eGalley, and I felt very lucky to get a copy of the book. After I read it, I just knew I needed a copy for my classroom. It's a wonderful school story. The teacher in it is not the main cause of the conflict, which always bugs me in middle grade books. There has to be this mean, cruel, terrible teacher all the time. And it's a pet peeve of mine. And that's not the case in this book. I love how you can actually... I love how realistic Dragon's thought patterns seem. I love how he finds ways to express himself. And I just really enjoyed the story as a whole. Dragon is in 7th grade in this book, and he has struggles a lot in school, but he is a sweet kid and you just can't help but root for him the whole time. So I couldn't wait to get this book into my classroom, and I'm very excited because her second book is coming out in June, and I have an e-arc of that I'm reading this month as well. And if it's anywhere near as good as this book is, I'm probably going to be buying the hard copy of that as well. So, My Storied Year by Katie Proctor. The last one is my most recently published eGalley purchase, eGalley just physical copy purchase, and that is The Adventure Is Now by Jess Redman. I have read all 3 of the books in Jess Redman's catalog, and I will trust her wholeheartedly with my reading life. She is a wonderful, wonderful author. Her first book, Miraculous, came highly recommended to me. I read it. I loved it. I have it in my classroom. Her second book, Quintessence, I got an eGalley of, and I eventually will put that one in my classroom. Her third book, The Adventure Is Now, just came out at the beginning of May. Man, this book is so good. I just loved this book from the beginning to the very end. The main character is Milton, and Milton loves a video game that is very like Survivor-esque. He has to do different tasks in order to survive in this wilderness environment. And when his parents are trying to get things settled with their divorce, they send him to his uncle to stay for the summer. His uncle lives on an island called Lone Island, and it is largely there for scientists to study. And his uncle is one of the scientists that is studying it. His uncle has been working tirelessly for years to find the species that inhabit the island that the famous scientists before him talked about, and he hasn't been lucky so far. With the other kids on the island, he goes on adventures around the island and finds different things and just falls in love with nature. And it's just a wonderful, engaging story. It's fantastical and absolutely beautiful. I loved this book so much. I can't imagine not having it in my classroom. And so I bought the hardcover, and I don't regret it. I can't wait for some of my students to read this. They, especially the ones that both love playing video games and also love nature, I think they're going to get a big kick out of this book. It's funny, it's heartwarming, and it's just very, very good. There. Here are the 4 books that I loved so much as an eGalley. I needed to purchase the I needed to purchase a physical copy for my classroom, and they have 2 of these have already been loved by my students, and these 2 will be added shortly. Happy reading. Bye.